What's up, everyone on the channel? I know it's probably been 2 weeks since I've been on the channel, but the reason being is because I've been working and I'm a little red-faced because I got done with a workout earlier, just doing some running. I love running, so it's not the healthiest thing for your feet or your legs, especially running on hard concrete or asphalt, but I still like it. So, which brings me to realize that a lot of my eating habits have gone down the drain since quarantine. So I have to cut back and start cutting out the sodas and drink water like I used to. But anyway, today's conversation is kind of funny. It's not really healthy, but still. It's coffee. And at the end of the day, coffee is coffee, no matter where you get it, or no matter what you like, coffee is coffee. It does the same thing. It brings you energy and happiness, I guess, for some people, but, or for most people. But it's also a money pit as well. And it definitely can be an addiction, kind of like nicotine. Actually, there have been studies that show that nicotine and caffeine are very similar, and that's why if you drink coffee in the morning, you usually have to go to the bathroom, or vice versa if you smoke or you vape, it's the same kind of effect. So they're very similar in their chemical makeup and what it does to your body. But they are very two distinct. One can essentially kill you. I mean, I guess they both could, but whatever. Today's topic is about coffee, and it's between two brands, Starbucks or Dunkin. I think it's just called Dunkin now. It used to be Dunkin' Donuts, but I think they just changed the name to Dunkin with an apostrophe instead of saying DUNKING. It's just DUNKIN apostrophe. But anyway, lately I've been getting a lot of Dunkin', or going to Dunkin' instead of Starbucks, because I've noticed that maybe I'm just getting kind of tired of drinking Starbucks over time. I mean, I do get the same thing, an iced caramel macchiato, but I don't know, I wanted to try something else, and I realized that one time I got Dunkin' and I was like, wow, this actually tastes a little bit different, and it's not as sweet. I mean, or maybe it's just different because I haven't had another coffee brand besides Starbucks, because I don't drink coffee at home because it messes up my stomach in the mornings. So I usually just go out and get mine, or I get the little convenience, like the to-go ones, or I'll buy them at the store. But yeah, lately I've been getting Dunkin', and I've started realizing that they're basically the same thing, except one is cheaper and one is faster, and that's Dunkin'. Dunkin' is faster in their service, and it might not be as good as quality as Starbucks, but it's still like you get more for what you're paying for than you would at Starbucks. And by the way, I'm not endorsed by Dunkin' or Starbucks. I'm just talking about the differences and why I've been going to Dunkin' over Starbucks. Now, I mean, obviously, I still love Starbucks. I went there yesterday, but I went there today, and the line was just like, the one I went to is usually a busy one, so maybe if I had gone to a different one that's not as busy, I would have gotten faster service. But the one I went to today, I was sitting in the line for like 10 minutes, and the line is super long. I'm not even near where they take your order, and 15 minutes go by, and I'm just still sitting in the same spot, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Dunkin'. So I went to Dunkin', and I was like, I got my drink in less than 5 minutes, or less than 3 minutes, and I was like, this is why I usually go to Dunkin' now, because they're just faster. And maybe it's like I said before, maybe it's because the quality of Dunkin is different than it is at Starbucks. And maybe that's why, I think you're not just paying for the coffee at Starbucks, you're paying for the customer service and the building. There's a lot of things that you're paying for in a product besides just the product itself. Like because you have to think about it from a business's standpoint. They're still going to charge, even if you go to Dunkin', they're still going to charge a certain amount for that product, even though that product may not be worth that much to the company. It's still worth the profit that they make off that product is what they're getting out of each customer. So it's like when you go to a grocery store and a box of cereal is like $3 or $4. Now for the company, you're actually buying it from the grocery store company. You're not buying it from the brand itself, because all of the things that are bought from everything that is in the grocery store has already been paid for by the grocery store. Like you go to Kroger or Publix, Kroger and Publix own everything that's in that store, unless it's third party and they are doing their own sales or whatever, but they still pay a percentage to Publix or Kroger or wherever you go. But they own everything in that store, and the reason they sell it at such a high price, like a box of cereal is $3-4, that box of cereal only costed Kroger or Publix like 50 cents to $1, depending on what brand it is. And it's just, you're paying for a lot more. And when I talk about, like, I go to Publix a lot more than I do Kroger, but I also go to Kroger as well. And to me, there are just some things that I find cheaper at Kroger, and there are some things that I like better going to Publix about. And I think one of the things that drives me to go to Publix is I know that I'm getting a more fresh product at Publix than I am at Kroger, but some could debate that. I mean, I think really certain things in a grocery store are going to cost the same no matter where you go. So it's really dependent upon what do you think is going to be busier versus what do you think is going to be, if you care about customer service, that kind of crap. So, I mean, I could care less about customer service because I've been in the industry and I hate customers, so I know exactly. I don't even talk to anybody when I go in. If they say something to me, I'll be courteous and nice and say something back. But I've had rude people everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. I mean, you would think that going into Publix, you'd get nice customer service, but I've had a lady be straight up rude to me for something that she thought I did and I didn't do. Like, that story is basically, I was going to self-checkout and one of the computers, because it's basically just a computer with a program running on it, was messed up. And it had some coding on it and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go to that one. So I go to the one next to it, and the self-checkout attendant comes up and she's starting to wipe down the one that I skipped over. And I think she was talking to me. I'm sure she was, because she was like, you can't just skip one lane to go to another. And I just straight up ignored her because I didn't know who she was talking to. And then she just was just staring at me, and I'm like, and I just kept staring straight. I was just like, okay. I was going to tell her that the computer already had stuff on it. It looked like it had writing and programming on it, it was messing up. So, but I just didn't say anything. I just kept doing my own business. I didn't care. And I was like, you can't just that. I don't know. I just assumed, she just assumed some sort of way. And I was just like, so even no matter where you go, you may think that you're getting the highest quality, but not everyone believes, and not everyone shows that high quality. But I just use that as an example of the customer service that I received that day at Publix. I mean, it's not gonna make it or break it for me going to a store. Kind of like right now where you have to wear a mask at pretty much every single retail store. Yeah, I hate it and I take it off as soon as I get out, or I don't put it on until I get in. But like, I don't really, at the end of the day, I don't really care because I already know what I'm going to get in the store. So I'm going to be in there for less than 30 minutes and probably only going to be in there for 10 minutes, and it's just a piece of cloth. So yeah. But yeah, I think people trip too hard about the mask thing at this point. But yeah, and then, I see people in the drive-thru with it on, and I'm like, okay. Or, people are driving, I guess you do you. That's the biggest thing about this whole thing is you do you. If I'm required to wear it in a store that I go to, I mean, I don't care. I'll just wear it because I know I'll wear it for probably 10 minutes and that's it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's funny that people will wear it in their car when they're by themselves driving around. I'm like, dude, what do you think the air circulation of the environment is going to get to you and give you corona? Like, But, you do you. If that makes you happy and feel more safe, you do you. But anyway, I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. I may try and make one next week. We'll see. I've started school back, so I haven't been able to make any recently until now. But yeah, I like, doing these this or this, even though it turned into two this or this, or three because I talked about the mask policies. But anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.